Get your act together. Alright. Humble, so romantic, so handsome, and he loves God more than he loves me. That's just. As usual, before you go forward in this video, please like the video, share the video, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Okay? Don't you want to be my fan? Describe that part. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about 27 things that I'm grateful for in the 27 years of my life. First of all, I'm grateful for my salvation. Being a Christian, basically, I'm just grateful that I have a relationship with my Creator. I have a relationship with the one that created me. So I'm just grateful for that. Salvation of my soul, 100% grateful for that. Number one on the list. Number two, I'm grateful for God's love. I'm just grateful that I got delivered from that spirit of fear, because before I got saved, I was always having this fear of rapture. I was always going to check on my little brother at that time, that as far as he is here on earth, then rapture has not taken place. That's when I realized I wasn't really a Christian, because I was afraid of rapture. And like, I should not be afraid of rapture. If I'm really saved, then I should be sure that I'm definitely going to be raptured, being that I'm a believer. Because I've grown to understand God's love, it has casted out any kind of fear that I have concerning rapture or concerning anything whatsoever. I don't really get scared easily about anything, just because I'm 100% sure of God's love for me, and I know God's love would like supersedes all that. I know God loves me so much that he would not want me to fail. So in my eyes, I might be seeing failure. According to my timeline, I might be seeing delay. According to my timeline, my own imagination and my own fantasy. But according to his perfect will for me, and God knows best for me, obviously. According to his perfect will for me, he definitely doesn't want me to be a failure. So what I'm saying as failure might not actually be failure, but actually a blessing in disguise, but I cannot see it yet. So I'm just grateful for God's love, like for that I understand God's love now, and so I have fear for nothing. I'm grateful for that. Third thing I'm grateful for is protection. Coming from the war in Ukraine, I could have easily been blown away also. Obviously, with the souls of those that have died, rest in peace. But I could have been one of them. Like, but God has protected me. God has protected me right from birth up to this moment. Lots of times that I would fall sick, I would faint, I would be rushed to the emergency room, or when I was in a car accident. I could have easily, like, lots of instances where I could have gone, but God has protected me. Not only physical protection, but also emotional protection. God has protected me from like meeting the wrong people. God has protected me through my desires, because of my desires to maybe not go out often or not go to parties or stuff like that. I feel like my desires are definitely a sign of protection also. So I'm not going to feel bad that, oh, this person invited me for a party and I did not go. My desire to not go for parties, my desires to me being an introvert, in my own self being an introvert, or my desires are a sign of God's protection. Is not based on you should change your ways, you're too introverted or whatever. It's like a sign of God's protection. God is protecting me from what I would be exposed to if I should go to parties, and he probably knows that how I would not be able to take all those kind of things. For instance, maybe somebody can try to harass me if I should maybe go to a club or go to a party, and then it's gonna scar me for life. And so because he knows that that can happen, not about, I'm not talking about any other person, about just for me. So because he knows that might happen, see that I'm pretty and all. Just kidding. So he has put in me the desire to not feel like going for parties, and so because of that, he is protecting me from ever being harassed or anything that has to do with parties, or not just parties. I'm not saying just parties, but like every other thing. The fourth thing I'm grateful for is healing. Throughout the course of my 27 years of life, God has healed me from ulcer. God has healed me miraculously from cold or malaria or whatever without having to use drugs sometimes. Recently, God has healed me from like dizziness, and or just God has healed for his constant healing when I ask for healing. I'm grateful to God for that. I'm grateful to God for spiritual growth. Where I am right now spiritually is not where I was when I first started my Christian walk. So I'm grateful for that. Also, I'm grateful for wisdom, because sometimes I just marvel at how much wisdom I have concerning certain things. And also when I'm reading the Bible, I like there's so much wisdom. Like I understand it better than like before, and like yeah. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for strength, even though I've lost two loved ones. I'm grateful that I'm still able to move on, because when it happened, I felt as if I was not going to be able to move on, especially that of my brother that died a day to my birthday. For 2 years after that, or three to 4 years after, I cannot remember, but like for years after that, I was always sad from the beginning of the month, even up to my birthday. So I always try to plan my birthday like months before, so that I would be happy. I like something exciting is I'm anticipating something exciting. I realized I wasn't super sad this time around. So I want to thank God for strength. I want to thank God for strength also, like with all these hurdles and tackles that I've gone through in this life. I'm actually still like in faith. I've not backslided. I'm still with him. So I'm grateful for that. I want to thank God for my family being a support system. I thank God for my mom. I thank God for my siblings. I'm grateful for God's leading and direction, because it's one thing to go through trials and tribulations, and it's another thing to actually know where God is leading you, and so you're able to like not think too hard on that trials and tribulations. Like you can go to trials and tribulations, and then you, after you're done with it, you're now confused, so where do I go from here? But I'm thanking God, because like God has been directing me every step of the way, and so I know, okay, at this point in my life I want to do this, at this point in my life I want to do this, and according to his will, everything is going to work out according to his plan. Amen. And thank God for peace, because even though I'm going through like serious tribulations and storms of life, I still find peace. Like I'm still peaceful even when something is going very very wrong. I don't have the kind of chaos in my mind that, oh my God, everything is going to flop. I still have peace, because I know that like God is definitely going to take control. I'm in the palm of God's hand, and so He's definitely going to take control. And because of that mindset, I'm able to have complete peace anytime I'm going through anything. Like I'm always at peace. I thank God for confidence, because I've always been like super super duper duper shy. But so me owning a YouTube channel is like a big deal. Like is very much of a big deal. Those that were in my secondary school, in boarding school, they would understand, because I was super super shy, irritatingly shy, with low self-esteem and everything that can possibly be in a person. But here I am on YouTube. That's something to be grateful for. And also in life generally, like I don't walk on the street with my head hanging down, but instead I lift my head up. Some people might be like, what exactly, like you're not even like completely made in life yet, so like what is giving you confidence? The fact that I have God is already enough confidence for me. I don't have to have a title before like I'm confident. So I'm grateful for confidence. I don't thank God for God's favor, because like there are lots of things that have happened recently, and like I cannot describe it any other way than God favored me. Like it's God's favor that made it happen. Because there's some things that like based on my status right now, I'm not supposed to be able to get, but then I've been able to get it, and that's amazing. People that would not normally help my kind of person, but they actually helped me. So like I'm just grateful for that. I'm grateful for joy, not happiness, but joy. Joy is everlasting. Happiness is temporary. So I'm grateful for joy, that the joy that I have inside of me even radiate to everyone around me and not just myself. And yeah, it's never ending. Like even when I'm going through trials, I still find joy in little things. So I'm grateful for that, because it's not to be taken for granted. All these things can really easily be taken for granted, but it should not be taken for granted. If you're able to find joy in little things, even though you're going through hard times, you should thank God for that. God is blessing you with that. And then I'm just going to thank God for clarity of vision. Like, I know what the vision for my life is. So no matter the path I take, whether it is through medicine or it is through another means, I know what exactly I'm driving towards. And thank God also for provision, because like no matter what, I know I would never starve. I would never be broke. Even if I don't have money, God always finds a way to make me have money. I will not take it for granted. It's not coincidence. God God actually used to send provision through any means possible when I need provision. Provision not for even only money, but also food or any other, like every other wise. God always provides for me. So I'm grateful to God for that. I'm grateful to God for mental growth also. Normally, like having depression, um, getting should I say getting angry easily, or yeah, I I can't really go into the details, but like I want to thank God for mental growth. I want to thank God for answered prayers. All the prayers that I've prayed about that God has answered, I want to thank God for that. Like He answered it at the exact timeline that I wanted. I want to thank God also for unanswered prayers, because I know that God is definitely still going to answer them. Also, I want to thank God for my future husband. I'm sure you guys are like, because he's coming soon. Get your acts together, because I'm waiting for you. Get your acts together. All right. I'm thankful for to God, because God made him to be super patient, super kind, super humble, so romantic, so handsome, and he loves God more than he loves me. That's just I'm grateful for that. I'm also grateful for my job. I'm thankful because God is going to make me to perform far much more than the expectation of my employers. I was confused for a moment to say employers or employees. I want to thank God because I'm going to exceed the expectation, and there'll be lots more. There'll be bonuses and promotions. I want to thank God for my studies, because I would study faster than my peers. I would study faster than even my own expectation. I would wow myself. I want to thank God for my businesses, because they prosper beyond reasonable doubt. They prosper beyond my expectation. They prosper abundantly. I want to thank God also for my ministry on YouTube, and my ministry in real life according to His will. I want to thank God because they prosper, and they all work according to His will. I want to thank God to be able to let go, because previously I've always found it hard to let go. Now, even when it happens, God has made me find a way to deal with it. And I want to thank God for patience. Even though God is still working on that, it's really hard to be patient. But I want to thank God because I have much more patience now than I used to have before. I'm patiently waiting for a lot of things from God, and I know He's going to deliver. So I just have to be patient and focus on what He has blessed me with right now. Let me stop doing this. God has done this. Check. Oh yeah, God. Next thing. God has done this. Yes. Now let me focus on it, hoping that the next thing, like God has not forgotten. He doesn't have short-term memory. So I want to thank God for the friends that God has brought in my direction, like the specific kind of friends that I prayed about, and then God has sent my way. I want to thank God for that. Like He wowed me. Like He really answered my prayers with that. And I want to thank God also because my life is going according to His will. Finally, that's number 27. Now my life is going according to His will. What's that Bible verse that God is doing it. So I'm grateful for that. I want you guys to like the video, share the video, and subscribe. And I feel like you should make it a practice every of your birthday to write a list of the things that you're grateful for. It gives gratitude that you don't just think, well, it's a given for you to be 27, or it's a given for you to be 20 years. Like it's a norm. Some people don't get to the age that you're getting to on your birthday. Like some people don't get to that age. Some people die premature. Some people die before time. So the fact that God has found you to still be able to fulfill purpose in this earth, like He's like, okay, you are still going to be on this earth because I'm still giving you several more years or many more chances for you to do that thing that I've sent you to do, or fulfill that purpose that I've put in you. It's something to be grateful for. God, thank you for still counting me worthy to be able to fulfill your purpose on earth. I'll see you guys in my next video. I'm that Christiana. Toodles. I learned it from one girl on TikTok. Toodles. Okay, bye.